NetsBoy, so let's hear what he has to say. His name is NetsBoy, he thinks the world is all over when the Nets just can't play. What up, Net fans? NetsBoy here, bringing your latest in your Brooklyn Nets news. Okay, now, here we are, right after the trade deadline. Well, 2 games after the trade deadline, but, you know, NetsBoy was a little busy with life, which seems to be my excuse for a lot of delays on my videos. Life. Anyway, it's after the trade deadline, and NetsBoy is very, very pleased with how the trade deadline went down. First and foremost, the Nets did not trade Brook Lopez, which, as everybody knows, is something that I predicted as well as figured would happen, and I'm glad that it happened. At the end of the day, I just feel like there was not enough that the Nets were going to be getting for Lopez at this point, and I feel that Sean Marks understood that, and Sean Marks didn't get radical and lower the price too much. I know at the end, I think they said that the Nets were looking for a first rounder and a second rounder. Even then, I don't think there were many teams that were willing to do that at this point, so I think it was a really smart idea just for the Nets to hold on to Lopez for now. So that's the first thing. I'm ecstatic about that. So I don't have to get a new jersey yet. I don't have to worry about that. Brook Lopez is still on the Nets. So that's the first great takeaway that NetsBoy is going to talk about. That's just good. All right. If this Nets team wants to win any games, they need Lopez on the team. And if they had traded Lopez, well, then they would be lucky to win like 3 more games. Instead, now they have a chance to maybe win like 5 to 10 more, especially with Jeremy Lin back, which the first few games, Lin hasn't looked so great, but the guy hasn't played for like months, so you can't really look too much into him not playing that great the first few games. It's going to take Lin at least 10 games before he gets back into the flow of things. So we'll see what happens with Lin. But that's another good thing, obviously, is Lin is back, and at least was able to play 2 games without getting hurt. So Lin is there, Lopez is there, and Bojan Bogdanovic is not! Woohoo! Oh, God, this makes me so happy. I'm so glad the Nets got rid of Bojan Bogdanovic. Look, Bogdanovic is a fine player. You know, he's a solid rotational wing. You know, he can score. You know, he can shoot the 3 ball. But, like, let's be honest, this guy was just not that great and was really, the expectations just didn't live up to them. Not enough that I feel that he was really worth, you know, all this hype that the Nets had bringing him on board. Nets traded him to the Wizards. They got Andrew Nicholson. I mean, that's really all they're showing player-wise at it, because they waived Marcus Thornton in that deal. Look, Andrew Nicholson is just he's just a stereotypical rotational big at best. He's not going to help this Nets team too much. I mean, he might be another body that they could use and look into as the power forward spot, but he's nothing super special. But you never know. You know, given an opportunity, maybe he can run with it and become something pretty good. You know, kind of like the year that the Nets got Chris Humphries. And I forgot what trade it was that they got Chris Humphries, and it was like a throw-in deal. That I forgot. Wow, I should look that up. I don't even remember. When the Nets got Chris Humphries, he was just a throw-in player, and he ended up becoming a really solid player for them and provided energy and became their starting power forward for like a year and a half. But, you know, maybe something like that will happen with Andrew Nicholson. I don't know. But the whole point of that trade was not Nicholson, but the first-round draft pick that the Nets got with it. So now the Nets have 2 first-round draft picks in this upcoming draft. Now, they're both going to be late first-round draft picks. You know, the Celtics one is a swap. So the Nets are going to get wherever the Celtics will be. And this one is lottery protected from the Wizards. And the Wizards are probably going to make the playoffs. So it'll at least be a Nets pick, but it's not going to be anything better than the 16th overall pick. So it's a good move because you got another draft pick, and it's something that the Nets can try to build upon, because right now they need picks. Whether it's late first round or lottery or whatever, they need picks. So the Nets are now going to have 2 first-round draft picks in this coming draft, even though they're going to be probably in the 20s, both of them. But that's okay, because it's still better than where they were before. And Bogdanovic, with him being off the team now, this allows Karis LeVert to really show himself. You know, he started the last 2 games. He's been okay. But this is his opportunity now. With Bogdanovic gone, the Nets have a legitimate opportunity to see what Karis LeVert is made of and see if maybe he is a key piece moving forward. And I think he will be. So that I just love this. I really like that move. I don't love it. I like it. I would have loved it if I could have gotten a little bit better player than Andrew Nicholson. But like I said, I can't really be too upset about that because, it was kind of like a throw-in. The real point of this trade was Bogdanovich for that draft pick. So I think that was a good move overall. And I think the Nets now can focus on this draft. They have 2 picks. When we look at this Nets team now moving forward, it's really just about the fact that they're finally all healthy and playing now. So Lynn is back. Lopez is still on the team. Useless Bogdanovich is gone, so LeVert's got an opportunity. And so now the whole thing with this team is let's see what they can do. Let's see if this team can finally win some damn games. They're stuck at 9. 9 wins is terrible. They need to get to 20. They do. And that's going to be very hard to do with the remaining games, the remaining schedule. Because I went through the schedule, and I'll be honest, I think they'll be lucky to win 6 more games the rest of this year. But I think they can get to 11. I'm going to believe they can win 11 more games and get to 20 wins. I'm going to believe that they can do that. I do. I think that if Jeremy Lin can become what he kind of was the first 4 games before he got hurt, become a solid 18-7 player like he's capable of, Karis LeVert continues and gets better, and Lopez is finally on this team and not worried about being traded and plays well, I think pieces can plug in together and you can finally see this team become something decent. And I think it's a possibility that they get to 20 wins. I wouldn't bet money on it this time like I would have bet money on the beginning of the year about them being better than 21-win team. But obviously I'll be lucky and be happy if they get to 21 wins. But I think they can do it. And I think it's going to be interesting to see moving forward. I'm kind of excited to see this team moving forward. Without Bogdanovich, I really am excited to see what LeVert's going to do and what this rotation going to be like. Because we've seen now Dinwiddie, Whitehead, and Foy all playing off and on the ball now. Like we've seen them play. I've seen a lineup with Lynn and Dinwiddie and LeVert in the back, and then I saw Dinwiddie, Whitehead out there at one time, and Lynn and Whitehead, you know what I mean? Like, how are these guys going to work together? It's really interesting to see, and it gets me a little excited because the whole point of this team is versatility. All these players can play multiple positions, and we'll see how they do moving forward. But overall, I'm a happy Nets boy that Bogdanovich is gone. They got a draft pick. I'm going to be honest. I think Lopez will be traded before everything's all said and done. Before he becomes a free agent at the end of next season, I think Lopez is either going to be traded this offseason for a lottery pick. For an example, I can see the Nets trading Lopez to the Trailblazers. I can see the Trailblazers missing the playoffs this year and getting the 14th or 13th overall pick and trading it for Lopez. I can see that happening. I can see the Nets trading him for sure before next year's trade deadline. I think that's a strong possibility. So I think he will get traded eventually. The only way I don't think Lopez will get traded before he's a free agent at the end of next year is if this year via free agency the Nets actually get some hits and they actually get some players like Gordon Hayward or like a Serge Ibaka who I've talked about before. Players like that magnitude who are free agents this coming offseason. Bringing in players that make this team better and maybe make it more appealing for future free agents to come to the team. Because I've said this before. That's what you got to do if you're Sean Marks at this point. I think he's going to try to do that, maybe. I don't know. I'll go into that way later towards the end of the season of some of the free agents I think the Nets should go after. But I just think if you got Gordon Hayward, which would be very hard to do, but I think if the Nets could pull off a miracle and take Gordon Hayward away from the Jazz and give him a max contract, and you put him on this team, and then you get a power forward like a Serge Ibaka or someone who can play with Lopez really well, now you're looking at a really solid team of like a Jeremy Lin, Karis LeVert, Gordon Hayward, Serge Ibaka, Brook Lopez starting lineup with, Isaiah Whitehead, Trevor Booker, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, those guys coming off the bench. I think now you're building for something. And then the next year in free agency, you're like, wow. If you're a free agent, you're thinking, I could be the key to that team, like a Paul George. Paul George would be a free agent the following season. If you're Paul George and you're like, I'm sick of the Pacers, they're not that good of a team, but wow, wait a minute. I could play alongside Brooke Lopez, Jeremy Lin, Serge Ibaka, Gordon Hayward. I could be the next starter. Then you make Karis LeVert coming off the bench with Isaiah Whitehead, Rondé Hollis-Jefferson, Trevor Booker. You see what I'm saying? Now you've just built the culture of this team turning around via free agency. And the key is to just get incrementally better each year. And that's what you have to do. And then you become more appealing to free agents to come and join your team. All those are long shots. I understand. I'm just thinking that that's a possibility. So that's the scenario in which I see Lopez not getting traded in the future. But as of now, he's on the team. This Nets team is fully healthy. They have everybody who I want on this team. I really wish they would have adjusted their power forward situation a little bit better because, I mean, technically Andrew Nicholson is, I guess he's an upgrade over some of the guys. I don't know. Is he really better than Quincy Acee? I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't really seen Nicholson enough to really gauge how good he is. He hasn't played really yet since coming to the team, but, you know. Oh, yeah, and the Nets got KJ McDaniels. Is that his name? KJ? KJ? CJ? Wait, what's his name? Give me 1 second as I look up his name. CJ, right? Where is he? No, I was right. KJ. KJ McDaniels. He was literally given to the Nets. Like, the Rockets literally like, we don't want this guy on this team. We want flexibility in our cap. Here, take him. Like, I looked at the trade. It said, like, Rockets got cap space. Nets got KJ McDaniels. Okay. Look, KJ McDaniels, who knows? You know, he's in his third year. He hasn't had much of an opportunity. You never know. So, I almost forgot that the Nets got him, too. That was another little move that was completely under the radar. Once again, I haven't really seen him play enough to know what the hell he's capable of doing or if he's going to be any good, but you never know. You know what? He could be proved to be a really solid player, just the way Joe Harris was. Remember, I was like, Joe Harris? Who the hell is Joe Harris? And now I like Joe Harris. So maybe KJ McDaniels can prove himself and he can be a good rotational player. But, you know, overall I'm pretty pleased. And we'll see what happens with the Nets team moving forward. Looking at the next few games for the Nets, you know, they got the Kings on Wednesday. It's a winnable game. Doesn't mean they will win. Especially since they got rid of DeMarcus Cousins. I think it's a very winnable game. Then they got the Jazz. Tough game. You know, and then you move forward. I mean, once again, every game is technically considered a loss. The Nets are the underdogs in all these games. So I'm really not going to look too much into it. But I think the Kings game is definitely a game in which they could win. You know, without DeMarcus Cousins, the Kings are not that great of a team. Kind of shocked they didn't trade Rudy Gay either in the deal. That might be because he's hurt. I don't even remember now, actually. I think Rudy Gay might be hurt. I don't remember. But either way, that's a winnable game for sure. Jazz, not so much. Blazers, not so much. Grizzlies, not so much. Right? I mean, they really don't have any true winnable games for a while. But other than that, Kings game, and then they got the Knicks, and they got to start winning some games no matter what. So we'll see what happens. Let's see if they can pull 11 more wins out of their, rear ends. I don't know. They're probably going to win like 5 more games the rest of the year. But either way, Lopez is still on the team. Bogdanovich is gone. NetsBoy's happy. So until the latest NetsBoy episode, let me know what you guys think about the moves the Nets made. And if you're excited to see what LeVert and the rest of this team can do. And yeah, until then, keep your eyes open for the next NetsBoy. And this is NetsBoy, signing off.